What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the MakeToys Vulcan. This is the last piece of their Guardia, which is their version of Defensor, and Vulcan is obviously representing Hotspot here. And yeah, I love this guy. I think his aesthetics look really, really cool. That said, they're not going to be for everybody. You have to either decide that you love the aesthetics or you hate them. I mean, there's like almost no middle ground. I mean, I guess you can think it's okay, but it's certainly not a G1 Hotspot by any means. The face is totally different. The whole look of the body, you got this asymmetrical, which kills some people. I do wish it was symmetrical, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. Still wish it was there, though. Yeah, so I think if you are looking for kind of like a modern G1, the Combiner Wars one is the one to go for. That's him standing on the ground next to him. Quite a bit of size between the two of them. Yeah, but I just wanted to point that out. He's definitely not going to scratch the G1 itch, which is really weird because the Defensor is more G1 than the TFC version. I don't know, very strange. One of the things I think a lot of people who are buying this guy were thinking about is that Fans Project Motormaster, and without all the extra gadgets and all that to make him a little bit taller, he feels like he's lacking a little. I actually don't particularly care for the two of these next to each other. Probably in their combined mode they'll be fine, but at least as it stands right now, I don't care for this. And being that I'm probably the only person on the planet that still has this guy, this is the, oh man, Bold Forms Motormaster, and you know, the head's a little bit big, but the size is right for me. So I think this particular Defensor may be hanging out with some Combiner Wars Stunticons as they're, you know, battling on the shelf. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to get that stuff out of the way. So let's also get out of the way the stuff that they came with. They came with some replacement handlebars for Axel here, and you can see they are big, beefy handlebars. For reference, which was a pain in the butt to get it off, by the way. Here is the original handlebar here. You can just see how much of a difference it is. And one thing I didn't realize, this is a little die-cast piece. Yeah, once it all fell apart, I could tell it was die-cast, but I am not worried about these big, thick die-cast handlebars coming apart. Also, we have these two guns here, and you can either wield them individually, or you can put them together to make one combined gun. I'm not sure which one I prefer. I think it might be the combined gun, but I don't know. It does look kind of like he's just holding a tube. It doesn't really look like he's holding a gun. So I'm a little undecided about that. And you can see the joint in his arm is a little bit weak for trying to hold it. It would be nice if that was ratcheted in some way. But it is, I believe, double jointed, so you can kind of use the other joint and maybe that'll work a little bit better for you. Or not. The next thing he came with was a replacement part for blades here. It's essentially the same sword, but it looks like it's a little more sturdy. I don't know, it doesn't look too terribly different. I'm not messing with it a whole bunch. You know, it kind of goes back and forth from sword to blades just fine. So I'm just leaving it like that, but I do want to find a set of blades that just doesn't transform for this guy. So that's all the replacement parts we got with this guy, but we do have to bring in the other members of the crew. Here is their Streetwise, aka Rover, and here is their First Aid, aka Hymed. And I think that looks like a really good combiner team. I really like these guys. I know that Axel is a bit, you know, hit or miss. Some people love him, some people hate him. It's very interesting to read what people think about Axel on the boards, because some people think he's the best of the set, some think he's the worst. It's really weird, but regardless, I think they all look awesome together. So let's talk a little bit about Vulcan. One thing I want to point out is on each side here, there's these little tabs here, and they had a little, like, tiny piece of tab, kind of like this tab hanging off of it. From MakeToys themselves, those weren't supposed to be there, so go ahead and cut them off. And when you do, when these wheels come around, they don't secure, but you can see that they sit against the bumper better. And it actually, you know, they don't wobble as much. So before we talk about articulation, one thing I wanted to point out is this, and how much it kind of bothers me. It doesn't peg in quite right. The ladder is loose. You know, I wish, because this is without him having any of the extra quote-unquote armor bits on, I wish somewhere either here or somewhere along the way there was something that allowed this whole assembly to twist, you know, upside down like this. Now, it is just pegged in, so you can remove it. And what I usually do is I bring this down like this, and then fold this all up, and it still hangs fairly far off the back, and this is still wobbly, but it's not over his head, and I do think that that looks better when he's not armored up. And we're going to show the armored up version in a second. I just want to go through articulation while we don't have anything hindering it. So let's go ahead and put it back the way it's supposed to be, which is kind of like this. Articulation on this guy. His head is on a ball joint here. Good range of motion out of there. You have a ratcheted swivel around here. You have the up and down on here. Then also, because of transformation, you can get more up and down out of that joint there. You have a swivel at the top of the bicep. You have an elbow swivel. You have the elbow, like the main robot elbow. And then you have like the lower arm elbow. So it's kind of a double jointed elbow. Gives you a fairly good range of motion out of there. Not quite 90 degrees. Hindered by some of his junk, but you know, it works. No big problems there, in my opinion. Coming down to the hand here, the hand is on a ball joint. Kind of a peculiar decision to me. I kind of wish it was just on a mushroom peg, because sometimes I do find that it looks like it's sitting funny in his truck mode. Coming down to the back here, if you get these pieces out of the way here, you do have a waist rotation here, but obviously if they're up, they're blocked. And you may have seen it when I was messing with the backpack, but I assume it's part of the Defensor stuff, but he does have like an ab crunch, if that's important to you. To me, it's not really on a robot like this, but you know, to each their own. Let's fold these back up how they're supposed to be. And I guess you could have them down like this the whole time, but I don't like how that looks from the front, just for reference here. Coming down to the legs, the hip skirts are articulated on a ball joint. You have a nice beefy ratchet in and out, forward and back, plenty of range there. A ratcheted thigh, very nice. I feel like he's got tons of security for his combined mode. And then a ratcheted knee, always nice. Coming down to the feet are peculiar to me, because if you put these up like this, which seems to be how they're supposed to do, that tab kind of goes in back there. I feel like this looks like it's the most flat, but it always ends up being the least stable when I set him down, and he does have this tendency of falling backwards if I put both his feet back like that. Like, it's weird. So I always make it one click out like this, which somehow like more pronounces this heel spur, and he seems to stand a whole lot better that way. I'm not sure. Anyway, the feet are on this piece here, so you can articulate the toe if you want, but I don't really think it's of any value. And then this whole assembly is on a rocker, but again, I don't know. It's hard to make his feet work in any meaningful way, given the teeny tiny heel spurs. So like I said, he does have like an extra armored up mode, and every one of these pieces, with the exception of like these things, has a purpose in robot mode. Yeah, so we're gonna start with this. You kind of pop these things out here, and we come around to the back, and these two tabs here tab in to the plate right here, and then the tops at the same time tab into the back of his shoulders, just like that. And then that ends up actually securing all this way better. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't think MakeToys really had intended him to not have this piece in here, because it's combiner mode stuff. And yeah, I mean, you gotta store it somewhere, I guess. So it's smart. I just wish there was still that rotation. Now you have these plates here, and these are the feet, obviously. And yeah, all they do is you got the red clip here, and you just kind of peg them on here on the side. And I think that they look ridiculous. I can't stand the way they look on the back of this toy. But if you do put them the right way, and I always forget which one I put on which side, I think it is with the swoop forward. Yep, just like that. Your tires here actually do kind of end up solidifying him in the back and giving him a little more of a heel spur. But with these things on, in my opinion, he's starting to get that Fans Project Motor Master level of silly looking for the armor. So I don't know, I really don't like these, and I wish that these were somehow integrated into the legs a little better. Yeah, one thing that I will say is nice before we go on, these, because they are the feet, it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but the shiny bits right here are already pre-applied rubber to help him stand in his combined mode, which we'll be looking at another day. So anyway, we've got that, and he is panely. Things will come undone. So now that we got that done, the next thing to do is to come around here to the back, and you see these little, I don't know, rocket pods? I'm not sure. They have little tabs in here, and they are used to house, I believe, the fists, if I recall correct. I haven't actually transformed this guy. Yep, there's his fist all curled up there. Pretty nice, I gotta say. Like, it's well hidden, all the combiner parts. But I just don't really care for this whole armed up look. I didn't care for it with Menasor. I think it's better looking on Vulcan here, but I don't know, it's still not great to me. Alright, so let's get Vulcan here to his vehicle mode. We're going to start by taking all of this stuff off. Flip those on in while we have a chance, and they can get stuck a little, so just be aware of that. Take these off, and we'll show you how far he can go to his fire truck mode before you need any of this stuff. So we're going to take this, open it up, and push his head down, and it kind of gets stuck on there, so you have to kind of close it, and then the head will drop the rest of the way back down. From here, we're going to work on his arms. Rotate them like that. Start rotating them up. Actually, I guess get that wheel around first. It usually makes it a little bit easier to work with. There we go. Once we got that, we can now rotate this stuff up. And we don't want to go all the way here because we want to start working on the hand. So we're going to come around and unplug this panel just like that, and unplug it just like that. And now we can kind of bring these closer together, making sure that you still have these front wheels all the way up like that. And that's going to let us see roughly how we need to peg everything together. From here, you want the shoulder bits to have the screw piece, well, it's not really a screw, the pin here towards the inside. And once you have that, you can actually drop this down around like this on each side. Still having this free, you can kind of rotate it how its final position is going to be now, and you can kind of see it a little bit better. And we're going to do that to this side too. Bring this down like that, and you can see where it's going to plug in on a couple little pieces here, just like so. And now we're ready to kind of complete the front of the truck. So you have these panels done, bring them all the way down here, and they will plug into these tabs right here and this slot on the body. It's probably going to come out from that slot on the body. Just be aware that it can be fairly annoying. And see, this is where I said I think it would have been better if these weren't on ball joints, because they will get a little janky looking at times. You make sure you have all your truck put together too. This should still be forward like this when we bring these down to plug them on into the various parts here. So you have that. Now you can take these, and they are on like this little swivel piece. You want it to swivel backwards here, plugging into the blue, and carefully get it to plug into the bumper just like that. So I'll show you that on this side. Bring it back here, plugs into the blue, plugs into the bumper like so. We can take these wheels now and pull them out to the side here just to line them up and make them look nice. And they do go in very easy. But there we go. We got the front of the truck all worked out here. So now, keep this stuff kind of separate. We're going to come to the back here. And we're going to take these feet, rotate them down, rotate these around just like this on both sides. Then open up this piece here, which can be a little difficult to grip, and slide this all the way in, and you should hear it click. Come on. There we go. And then once that's like that, if it doesn't click, these won't fit in place on the leg there. So once again, open it, slide it down, listen for the click. There we go. Black pieces connect there, and you can push the legs together like so. Take this piece here. It should fold up into those little black pieces here, and these should come all the way around this way, and you have these little tabs, holes right here. It should match with the tabs on the side of the feet, just like this. And once again, my tabs at the top came undone, and that's because the ab kind of started coming apart again. So if it's not working out quite right, check that. So anyway, now we'll take these, we'll bring these closed, kind of work the front end under there, and the top plugs into the side here. Bring this around, work it under the front, and plug it in just like that. And now, there we go. That is as much of the fire truck as we can make without bringing on his extra pieces. So the most important extra pieces, of course, are the sides of his truck here. And you take these, you bring this down, and then at the hinge, fold it in, and fold that, and fold this back up. Now the way this actually ends up working is you're going to have your wheels towards the inside of the truck. So this particular one is going to be this side, and you have the clip right here, and it just, whoops, hard to do behind the camera, clips in down there, and you also have the clip on the back of the foot, which clips in at the top there. So we'll take the second one here, open it up, pull this down, bring this around, close it, bring this back up, clip, clip, and we take this and we clip it in down here, and we clip it in at the top, just like that. That should look like that from the back. From here, you can pretty much bring this down. You may have to slide these silver things a little out of the way just to make it fit. And this should, assuming that it's extended right, clip into the top on each side there. So that's like the bare minimum you need to make the truck. Of course, the back looks kind of bad, so they take this piece here, and you fold it upwards like this, and you can see we got tab, clip, clip, tab slot. So just take this, and it really is necessary, in my opinion, to complete the fire truck. You put that on the back, and there we go. We've got his complete fire truck form. Now, if you want, you can take the rest of the pieces here, and they do plug in. You got these little bars here, and they plug into the holes on the side of the truck, just like this, on both sides here. So that gives you these, you know, like cannon things that you can store away. And then both of his guns have little tabs on them, and you want to make sure you have the right way in. This particular one with the like hose thing on the front goes on this side, and this one here goes on this side with the handle facing out. Not a big fan of it, but there we go. There is our completed fire truck, and it's definitely kind of, I don't know, it's like a modern Earth vehicle with the 4 tires up front, but it doesn't look bad. I kind of like how this looks. You can extend the ladder out if that's something you want. I think that does look nicer when you don't have any of this extra junk on the side, but actually when it's all with all the extra stuff, I don't think that necessarily looks terrible. He rolls pretty okay. I have no complaints. It looks like this wheel here doesn't really turn compared to the other 3 on the side here, but you know, whatever. I'm not really rolling my toys around. For a comparison for size here is our masterpiece exhaust. Just to get a feel, we'll put that like this. You know, so he's not really fitting your masterpiece shelf, but you know, I guess you could kind of shoehorn him in if you really, really wanted to. So of course we can't get away without showing the rest of the Protectobots. Here is our blades. Of course, once again, would be nice if we had some kind of stand for him. We don't, so let's stop complaining about it. Here is Hymed. Scaling looking mostly okay. Right now, I don't think that the ambulance being that small compared to the fire truck looks bad. Here is Rover, and Rover kind of throws it off a little being so big compared to Hymed. But I still kind of feel like it mostly works, and then it just gets thrown completely for a loop once we bring Axel in here. But as a team, I do think that these guys look really good on a shelf together, especially like this in their vehicle mode. So I have no real complaints. I love how this set came together. And real quick, I just wanted to show that you can, of course, articulate the ladder straight up without all the extra stuff on the back. It does turn around almost, I guess, like 180 total is its range of motion on there, because you can't go backwards before it gets bound up on that piece. But that's fine with me. Like, I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think that it looks as good when it has none of the extra stuff on, if you don't have it forward. And I do wish there was maybe something you could bring up so it could rest on the ladder or something. I don't know, it would look a little bit nicer, but all armed up, I think it looks just fine like this. So let's get him back to his actual robot mode, and let's get out of here. We're gonna start by popping the ladder assembly off, and we're just gonna go ahead and take the feet off, back part of the truck. As you can see, could have taken all these off individually, but that'll work. That's all we really need to do. Take these, make sure we unsecure this, bring it back like that, all the way around. Take these pieces, unpeg them, bring them down, spin them all the way around on both sides here. Open up these flaps like this. We can separate the legs now. Pull them, and they don't click back into this position, but you'll know you have it right when the black flaps close back up again. So go ahead and do that to this other side, like that. Bring these all the way up, and like I said, I personally do one click down on each one of these, and then bring the feet forward, just like so. That'll take care of the legs. We'll get to the top of the robot here. Go ahead and push these wheels in because you probably already have. We're going to take these pieces here, unpeg them, and slide them forward like that. That'll let us take these pieces and fold them all the way up. Now we can start bringing the front of the truck apart. Go ahead and open the arms all the way up like this. Bring this assembly to the side and bring it down like so. And that thing should still be forward at the top there. If it's not, just fix it. There we go, just like that. And these will clip in on the front here, and then these wheels will rotate all the way around in place like that. So this clips in here, bring this around, and that should stay pretty securely together like this. So we got that. We got his big skeletal arms. The emergency lights stay up. Take these, fold them around, fold it around, and then it's gonna peg in right up here on the bot. So you have to kind of come in at an angle and it'll slide up, and then you can peg it the rest of the way in. So do that again on this side. Bring this down, around, bring this around, and bring this around, and again it'll peg right in at the top here, and we got that done. Might as well come to the back, just kind of fold it all up like this if you're not going to put that black piece back on. Open this, which you see his head kind of popped up halfway. Lift it the rest of the way so you can see the square through the top, and then close this up and it'll secure it in place. And yeah, that's it. That is all it takes to transform this guy. I think he is a very fun toy. I love the aesthetics of it personally. Your mileage may vary on that, but you know, I have just found that I really, really enjoy this guy. And the set so far has definitely pleased me. So yeah, you know, leave me a comment in the messages below what you guys think if you have this. You know, I know he's not going to be for everybody, but I love him. And hopefully next week we'll take a look at him in his combined mode. And yeah, so this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.